Welcome to Peterborough Milton Golf Club for this Golf Monthly video on the top 10 tips to keep your golf course in good condition. So you might want to stare and admire your striking, but remember where the divot goes, because repairing your own divots out on the golf course is absolutely vital. If you don't do this, it can take ages. You get scarring all over the golf course. Go and retrieve your divot, pop it back in, pat it down, and that will repair itself in just a matter of hours or even days. You won't even know it was there. Nothing worse than having to play from a divot on the golf course. Make sure you don't have to do that, no one else does, and keep your golf course looking fantastic by always repairing your divots. Every golfer should always carry one of these when they're playing. It is of course a pitch mark repairer, and when you get to the green, make sure you always repair your pitch marks. It's one of the most simple things to do, but it can be really destructive. If you repair a pitch mark straight away, it will recover in a couple of hours. Leave it unrepaired and it can take weeks for that bit of green to recover. So don't only do yours, have a little look around. If there are any others on the green as well, make sure you repair them. Always go from the outside in rather than the inside out, so you don't break the root structure of the grass. Give it a little tap down to make sure it's properly flattened out, and your greens will stay rolling pure. Now, when you're walking on the greens, be really careful not to scuff your feet. A lot of golf shoes with cleats and spikes can very easily scuff up the surface, so be careful. Make sure you pick your feet up properly, especially in winter when it is a bit wet and the grass is a little bit longer. Take care how you walk on the greens and you'll keep them putting well all year round. Next up, try not to take a divot with your practice swings. Of course, you want to get a feel for the shot, but you know what? You can do that just by brushing the turf. The least impact you have on the ground here, the less there is to repair and the less there is to recover. It's really important that we remember to rake the bunker anytime we have to play from one. Of course, during COVID times, we weren't raking the bunkers. There were no rakes out on the course. Now we can. Important to get back into the habit. Now there is a right way to do it as well. Much of it is common sense. Obviously start where you've played from, far away. Make sure you get a nice even spread of the sand as you're going. Work your way back out. And this is kind of the key bit really. When you're coming out of the bunker, tempting to just rake everything towards you and leave it like that. That's how you get loads of sand up the edges, very little in the middle, and as we all know, it's horrible playing from the bottom of a bunker and having hardly any sand to play with. So just as you're coming out, if it is accumulating a little bit, brush a little bit back in, and that should keep a nice even sand coverage all across the bunker. Of course, if there's somewhere to put it down as well, we've got a little spot for it here. Make sure you pop the rake back, adhere to whatever rules at any course you are, whether it's leave them on the edge, in the bunker. Different places have different preferences. Make sure you rake those bunkers and keep the course in excellent condition for you and everyone else around you. Always do your utmost to stick to the paths that are on the golf course and follow any signage, especially if you're in a buggy or using a trolley. This behind me, absolutely perfect example. Over my left, you can see it'd be tempting to take your trolley up between the bunkers and the green. That's an absolute no-no. There's a path here specially designed for buggies and trolleys. Stick to that and you won't be churning up the course. Especially important in the winter as it gets a bit wetter underfoot. You might see temporary signs and temporary routes that may change throughout the winter, getting you around the course in the least muddy way possible. Make sure you follow those and stick to them. The course will remain as playable as possible through the winter, and it will get into brilliant condition much quicker in the spring and summer as a result. When you get the opportunity to practice on a grass range, you want to leave a divot pattern, which is going to be the easiest for the greenkeepers to repair, so that you can keep using that range week after week. You can see here, I'm into quite a deep practice session, but I'm creating lines. Go straight back every time you hit a shot like I just did. The next ball, go directly behind, just on the back edge of that divot. So you've got a great lie. and the next divot is going to feed into the one that you've just made. A few lines like that, way better than putting balls all over the place, higgledy-piggledy. That whole bit of turf then has to be redone by the greenkeepers. This way they can put a nice slot in or take out a much smaller amount. If they do need to relay it, it will recover way quicker. It's a really good idea to put your bag or trolley on the correct side of the green for where you're heading for the next tee. So I could pop it over there, it's an obvious place, but actually the next tee is over here, and the reason for that is footfall and traffic. If I place it over there, I'm traipsing back and forwards across the green and going across the green to get to the next tee. If I pop it down here, shorter walk to my ball, I'm straight back across and straight to the next tee as well. Especially important if you use a trolley and you play winter golf. As we know, the ground can get really churned up where people walk a lot, so make sure you do the least amount of walking around the greens and the putting surfaces. Leave your bag or trolley on the correct side, and that will help keep the golf course in tip-top condition. Make sure you take advantage of the divot sand on tee boxes. It will especially be on par 3s, short par 4s as well. It's grass seed basically. So you've got a load of grass seed in some soil, pop it down in your divot, flatten it out, and that will make sure those divots can repair as quickly as possible. Remember, stick your spade back in and pop that lid down nice and shut as well. If any moisture gets into there, the grass will start to grow. You don't want that. You also might find divot bags hung up on tee boxes as well. Take one with you down the fairway, fill in any divots that you go past. Anything we can do to help out our greenkeepers is a massive bonus. So take advantage of the divot boxes on the tee and carry those little bags down the fairway. And finally, appreciate your greenkeepers. While you're tucked up in bed, they're out there at the crack of dawn doing everything they can to present the golf course and make it as playable as possible, even when the weather isn't that nice. So when you do see them out and about on the course, say hello, say thank you, and understand that they are doing everything they can to make the golf course as good as it could possibly be, whatever Mother Nature throws at you. So there we have it, 10 great tips to make sure we keep the golf courses we play on in tip-top condition. Your fellow golfers will thank you, the greenkeepers will thank you, and importantly, the next time you go and play, the course will be in fantastic condition for you. If we all play our part, we can keep our golf courses in top-notch nick. Remember, like and subscribe to the Golf Monthly YouTube channel. Add your comments below. We have got loads more great content coming your way, but that's all for now.